What's up, pals? I'm Colin.
And I'm Elon. This week, we'll be looking at the NHS Induction ceremony,
A college Division I signing.
and see how our sports teams fared against our opponents.
There's plenty to be learned, so stick around and we'll be right back.
NHS is one of the most prestigious groups a high school student can join. Let's take a look into the induction ceremony.
The Bensalem National Honor Society held its inductions on December 5th, congratulating its new and senior members, with first a banquet to celebrate with friends and family of this commemorative moment. Here are the NHS inductees walking down with their ceremonial candles to be lit when the time comes. Now the inductees are lighting their candles, passing it side to side, commemorating their 4 pillars of the National Honor Society. Later on, the NHS inductees perform a song to commemorate their entrance into this prestigious society. Now, Dr. Ball will give a short speech commemorating the inductees and introduce the officers and their speeches on the 4 pillars of NHS. First is the President, Dev Amin, will give his speech on leadership. Next is the Secretary, Taylor Destralo, on scholarship. Afterwards, the Vice Presidents, Mohammed Tahir and Parth P. Patel, will give a speech on service. Finally, the Treasurer, Parth Patel, comes onto the stage to talk about character. Now, Mrs. Hope comes onto the stage to explain the 4 pillars and how it relates to the students people in our society today, and introduces Mr. Brandt as one of those people, and he gives a short speech on how to achieve in today's society. Onwards through the ceremony, Parth Patel and Taylor Destrala call upon each senior to commemorate them on their hard work throughout the year. Following on, Dev Amin, Parth Patel, and Mohammed Tahir introduce the inductees to NHS. At the end of the ceremony, Dev states the oath and is soon followed by Mr. Brandt closing off the ceremony. And congratulations to all who were involved in the NHS induction process.
After about 60 years, Faust Elementary School has built a beautiful new playground in honor of Angela Felt, a former teacher. Let's check into the Angela Felt Memorial Playground ribbon cutting ceremony.
Three years ago, the Angela Felt Memorial Fund helped raise money to make her dreams come true.
Without this family, the students would still be playing on a playground, which still had the original equipment on it back from the 1950s. The Memorial Fund has raised money to make today a reality, reaffirming Angela's giving nature, knowing that this playground will benefit not only our students today, but generations to come.
Recently, Faust Elementary School had their opening ceremony for their new playground funded by Angela M. Phil.
100 years from now, it will not matter what my bank account was, the type of house I lived in, or the kind of car I drove. But the world may be different because I was important in the life of a child.
Every year, BHS hosts the Multicultural Club Dance, where the kids present and learn the dances, foods, and cultures of the other countries. We'll send you out.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Bensalem High School's Multicultural Club's Around the World event. Here we had members of the Multicultural Club represent different cities from around the world, such as Tokyo, Japan, all the way to Barcelona, Spain. Each group had to create different foods that represent the country the best. They also had to create a dance or a skit that portrayed their country the best. Here we have Rome, Italy, portraying the gladiator battles that would happen in the Colosseum. It was a lot of fun at the Multicultural Clubs Around the World event. The dances and skits were done well. The tables looked amazing, and the food afterwards tasted delicious. The kids looked like they had a lot of fun creating their tables and skits for this event. I hope you guys come out next year to help support the Multicultural Club.
O-W-L-S. Owls, owls, owls. Let's see what happened this week in sports.
The Bensalem Owls played the Falcons of Pennsbury in this tough basketball matchup. The Falcons of Pennsbury are one of the best teams in Suburban 1 Division play, and they showed it early on with 9 straight points right out of the gate, hitting 3 straight three-pointers to start the game, including a couple from the corner and one from right down the center. Neil Patel, though, for the Owls, kept the Owls in the game with a 3 of his own all the way from downtown. The Falcons, though, had a great defensive answer, and even answered with the feared, the slam, the jam, and the dodge ram. And the Owls did struggle to keep pace with the Falcons, going down by 6 at the end of the first quarter. The second quarter did not get much better for the Owls. The Falcons didn't miss too many of their shots, shooting over 70% from inside the paint and from beyond the arc, forcing the Owls to try and beat them with their offense. Avery Nikon and Brian Kilcoyne did their best to keep the Owls in it. The Owls were down 35-19 after 2 quarters. However, there were some nice highlights. Here's Avery Nikon with a 25-foot three-point shot, which was very nice. And also, you see some very nice Owls shooting by Brian Kilcoyne himself. So at halftime, it's 35-19. The second half just didn't get much better for the Owls. Like we said, the Falcons just did not miss too many of their shots. The Owls, who struggled both offensively and defensively, could never muster that one string of points they needed in a 67-38 loss to the Falcons.
the Ben Salem Owls played the Neshaminy Skins in this tough girls basketball divisional matchup. The game started out with Neshaminy getting a lot of their shots going. Now, when I say a lot, I mean they just were not missing many of their shots at all. In fact, Neshaminy went on a 28-0 run, getting the score to be 30-2 by just the second quarter. However, to the Owls' credit, they didn't give up. Here we see some nice shooting from the Owls in an effort to get back in the game. It wasn't an easy task, to say the least. The Owls were very outmatched very early on in the game. However, the one thing you have to say to these girls, they do not quit and they do not give up. Now, even though the Owls did fall in an early hole, they continued to push and push defensively and offensively. Plus, not some bad shooting. They shot over 50% from the field, which isn't too bad, especially for a high school team. However, the Neshaminy Skins just continued to press on, leading 44-14 at halftime. The second half did not get much kinder to the Owls, but this is a team that does not give up. A lot of trouble dealing with the Skins' best player, number 44. However, here come the Owls again trying to score more points, but it's just not falling for them, and it didn't fall for them in the second half. It continued to go on that same trend throughout the rest of the game. As much as the Owls did fight, they just could never seem to muster that one run that they needed, and they weren't really able to shut down the Skins' defense. The Neshaminy Skins would take this game. However, a last-second three-point shot did leave their mark for the Owls. Final score in this game: the Neshaminy Skins 68 and the Ben Salem Owls 25.
What's up, Ben Salem? I'm Matt Gold.
And I'm Saad.
Hey, did you hear our track team is doing a phenomenal job so far?
Yeah, I heard so far that we have one state title and we're going for a repeat.
So, to get caught up on our Owls' progress, check out this feature.
On Wednesday, January 8th, our boys went to Haverford College to compete against LaSalle, Council Rock, and many other schools in the Haverford Invitationals. In the first event, the 55-meter hurdles, Brandon Higgins has shown an impressive display of running 10.3 seconds. Then it is soon followed by Jordan Roberts and Tim Brown in the next heat, whom both ran a time of 10:13 seconds. Next was the 55-meter dash. Junior Jason Tate ran a time of 7.05 seconds, only skimming the time to make the meet of champs. In the next heat, sophomore Nico Davis comes in at a time of 7.2 seconds, which is his season personal record. Afterwards is followed by our state champion Kyle Francis in the 1600-meter race, who placed first throughout the entire race. Later on, our underclassmen Rahi Shah, Ryan Moltz, and Akil Backus ran a phenomenal race in the 1600 meters. Rahi Shah running a time of 5:06 and is followed by Ryan Moltz with a time of 5:06.7. Afterwards, Akil Backus ran a time of 5:06.79, placing each of them at second, third, and fourth in their heat. Now, Karan Holly, running in the 200-meter race, ran a time of 22.3 seconds, dusting the competition in his heat and coming back from an injury. In the same race, Jason Tate comes in hard with his season personal record of 24.76 seconds in his heat. Dylan Capito triple jumps a distance of 32 feet and 11 inches.
On Tuesday, January 7, 2014, Ben Salem's boys and girls swimming team fought against the Neshaminy High School Redskins. Matt McDonald placing first in the 500 freestyle race with a time of 5 minutes 45 seconds. Despite a tough attempt, our Owls fell short but still swam an amazing meet. Good luck with the rest of the season.
My word was law, but then with little Miss Woods got my
Kids, I don't know what's wrong with these kids today. Kids!
And precious, by the way, the doctor called you dead.
To play a collegiate sport takes an incredible amount of determination and talent. One of our students, Kyle Francis, has recently signed his letter to run track and field at Duke University.
We're here today to celebrate Kyle Francis' illustrious high school athletic and academic career. It takes a special athlete to be accepted to a Division I university. It takes an extra special athlete, student athlete, to be accepted to Duke University. So I want to be one of the first to congratulate Kyle on being accepted to Duke University on a track scholarship and continue your illustrious career.
Kyle's won, as Mr. Kerr said, multiple state titles. He's looking for more this year. For him to be able to be accepted into Duke, which is not only a fine academic institution, they've got a phenomenal Division I track and cross-country program. Kyle, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's see if you got more this year.
Congratulations, Kyle, on being accepted to Duke University. I've seen your hard work day in, day out, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you'll do with your college career.
Wow, thanks. Ditto that, and I'm just proud of him with his hard work ethics, athletically, academically, and he's on his road to being successful. I'm glad he came from the roots of Ben Sound.
I'm just happy to be continuing my running career, doing what I love down south at Duke, and I wouldn't be here without the help of my parents guiding me through this whole process and making me a good young man. And I attest my whole my running success to Coach Malloy, and I wouldn't be here sitting here without their help. So I'm just happy that they're here with me.
Well, that's all for this week, Ben Salem.
So until next time, be great and always stay Ben Salem strong.